Michael, you're overthinking again. Emily laughed softly, brushing my hand away as I tried to hold hers tighter. He's just a friend you have nothing to worry about. I wanted to believe her. I needed to. Her voice was so calm, her eyes so certain that my doubts felt childish. I don't know, Emily, I whispered. The way Ethan looks at you... Stop! She cut me off, sharp but sweet. He's been around for years. If there was something, don't you think it would have happened already? Daniel's warning echoed in my head. She's hiding something, man. Don't ignore it. But I shook it away, choosing her smile over his suspicion. I forced a chuckle. Yeah, maybe I'm being paranoid. You are. She leaned closer, kissing my cheek. You're my everything. Don't let silly thoughts ruin what we have. I nodded, swallowing the unease clawing at my chest. All right, I'll trust you. Good. She smiled as if the matter was settled. But at night, lying beside her, I stared at the ceiling. Trust was easy in daylight when her voice drowned my fears. In the dark, the silence screamed louder than her words. Weeks later, I couldn't hold it in. Emily, I asked over dinner, why do you always step outside when Ethan calls? She set her fork down, annoyance flashing. Because you make faces every time his name comes up. I make faces because he calls every night. She sighed. Do you want me to cut off all my friends, Michael? Is that what you want? Just me and you in a cage? That's not what Because it feels like it, she snapped. Then softer. I need friends. I need people outside of us. Doesn't mean I love you any less. I rubbed my temples. I'm not asking you to cut him off. When I see the way he touches your arm, the way he lingers, Ethan touches everyone like that. That's just who he is. Daniel's voice came back again, sharper now. She's lying, Mike. Open your damn eyes. But looking at her, I saw the woman I'd built my future around. The one who held me when my father died. The one who whispered she wanted a family with me. How could I accuse her? I'm sorry, I muttered. I shouldn't have brought it up. Her expression softened instantly. That's better. Don't let jealousy ruin us, okay? Yeah, I whispered, but the word tasted like ash. One night, Daniel cornered me outside a bar. Mike, I saw her, he said, his voice low. My heart thudded. Saw who? Emily, with Ethan. They weren't acting like friends. I shoved his shoulder. Don't say that. I wouldn't if it wasn't true. You're wrong. My voice cracked, but I held on. You're wrong, Dan. She told me she loves me. People say a lot of things, he snapped. You can't ignore this forever. I shook my head, backing away. She wouldn't do that to me. His eyes softened with pity. I hope you're right, man. I really do. But hope felt like a chain around my neck, pulling me down into denial. The lies deepened in small ways. Missed calls, locked screens, sudden late shifts. One evening I confronted her again. Emily, why are you coming home at midnight? Her eyes widened. I told you, we're busy at work. With Ethan? God, Michael, not everything is about him. She slammed her purse on the table. You're suffocating me with your paranoia. I'm suffocating because I can't breathe around your secrets, I shot back. Her lip trembled for half a second before she masked it with anger. If you don't trust me, maybe you don't deserve me. Those words cut deeper than any silence. Later that night, Daniel called again. You need to wake up, Mike, he said. She's playing you. I pressed the phone to my ear, my hand trembling. Even if she is, what do I do without her? Live, he said simply. Better to be broken now than shattered later, but I wasn't ready to hear that. Not yet. Back home, Emily slid into bed beside me. You're quiet, she murmured. I'm just tired. She curled against me, her warmth familiar, her breathing steady. I love you, Michael, only you. Please don't doubt that. I closed my eyes, letting her words wash over me like a drug. I believe you, I whispered, though my chest ached with the weight of the lie. But deep down, I already knew the truth. That one day, her promise would break me completely. The phone buzzed again. She reached for it so quickly I barely caught the name on the screen. Ethan, I said flatly. Emily forced a smile. He just had a question about work, relax. At midnight? She rolled her eyes. Not everyone runs on your schedule, Michael. Then why do you step outside to answer? Her voice hardened. Because you interrogate me every time he calls. Can't I have one friend without you breathing down my neck? I clenched my jaw. It's not just one friend. It's him. Always him. Maybe because he actually listens instead of accusing. Her words hit like a slap. I stared at her, searching for even a flicker of guilt. Nothing. The next morning, Daniel leaned against my car, arms crossed. You look like hell, he said. I didn't sleep. Because of her? I hesitated. She says I'm paranoid. Or she's making you feel paranoid on purpose, he shot back. Classic gaslighting, I shook my head. Emily's not like that, he stared at me. You sure? Because she's smiling at Ethan the way women smile when they want to be caught. My chest tightened. Stop! Don't make me hate her. Better now than later, he muttered, walking away. But his words clung to me like a shadow. That night, she came home late again. I tried to stay calm. Where were you? I asked. Out with coworkers. You know that? Which coworkers? Why does it matter? She snapped. Because I don't believe you. Her face hardened. Then that's your problem, not mine. You said you'd be back by 10. I lost track of time. With Ethan. Her fork clattered against the plate. God, Michael, why do you always twist everything into something ugly? Because it feels ugly, I said quietly. Every smile, every secret text, every excuse, it feels ugly. She exhaled sharply, grabbing her purse. I can't live like this. You don't trust me and I can't breathe in this house anymore. I reached for her arm. Emily, she pulled away. Don't touch me when you look at me like that. The door slammed behind her. I stood alone in the kitchen, my reflection in the dark window staring back like a stranger. A week later, Ethan showed up at a gathering. He shook my hand with that smug grin. Michael, he said smoothly, Emily tells me you've been worried about us. I glared. She talks about that? Of course. She says you're jealous. He leaned closer, lowering his voice. Jealousy kills love, you know. I wanted to punch him. Instead, I forced a smile. Funny, I thought lies did that. His smirk deepened, but before I could say more, Emily appeared, linking her arm with his casually. Everything okay here? She asked. Perfect, Ethan said, squeezing her shoulder. I saw her glance at me. Quick. Nervous, but she didn't pull away. Daniel's voice echoed in my head. Better now than later. That night, I confronted her again. Why did you let him touch you like that? She frowned. Like what? On the shoulder. In front of everyone. It was nothing. It wasn't nothing. I saw the way he looked at you. Michael, she sighed. Ethan is like family. You're making yourself crazy. Family doesn't look at each other like that. You're projecting your insecurities onto me, she said coldly. Maybe you should ask yourself why you don't trust me instead of blaming me. My chest burned. Because you give me reasons not to. Her eyes glistened, but her voice stayed sharp. No, you've already decided I'm guilty, so nothing I say matters. I tried to soften my tone. I just want the truth, she whispered. The truth is I'm tired of defending myself. And then she turned off the lights and climbed into bed, leaving me standing in the dark. Later, I sat in the living room, whispering to myself, why do I feel like a stranger in my own home? The walls gave no answer, only silence heavier than her lies. The house was too quiet when I pushed the door open. No TV, no music, not even her footsteps. I set my keys down and called out, Emily. Her voice floated from the living room, soft, almost trembling. I'm here. I stepped inside and froze. She sat on the couch, a tiny bundle pressed against her chest. A baby. His small fists waved in the air, his face peaceful. My stomach dropped. What is that? She looked up at me, eyes wet, lips trembling. Michael, please, I pointed at the child. Whose baby is that? Her arms tightened around him. He looks just like you. The words slammed into me like a blade. Don't you dare! My voice cracked. Don't you dare say that! Michael, I didn't want you to find out like this. Find out what? I shouted. That you've been lying to me? That while I was breaking myself to give you everything, you were carrying another man's child? The baby stirred at my voice. She rocked him quickly, tears sliding down her cheeks. I didn't mean for this to happen. Didn't mean? My fists shook. You told me he was just a friend.
You swore to me, Emily.
She buried her face against the baby's head. I was scared. Scared of what? Of telling me the truth? Of admitting you destroyed us. Her sobs filled the room. I never stopped loving you. Don't lie to me again, I spat. You love him. You love Ethan. The front door opened without warning. A voice rang out, smug and casual. Talking about me? I spun around. Ethan stepped inside like he owned the place, his grin widening when he saw me. You son of a... I lunged, but Emily jumped between us, clutching the baby. Stop! She screamed. Don't do this in front of him! I laughed bitterly. In front of him? He's not my child. He's his. Ethan shrugged, shameless. At least one of us could give her what she wanted. My blood boiled. You think this is funny? He smirked. I think it's inevitable. She deserved more than a man drowning in jealousy. Emily cried harder. Ethan, don't... No, I cut her off. Let him talk. Let him spit poison while you hold the proof of your betrayal in your arms. Ethan leaned closer. You lost, Michael. Accept it. My hands curled into fists. You stole everything from me, he chuckled. No, she gave it to me. The words tore me apart. I stumbled back, my chest hollow, my breath jagged. Emily reached for me. Michael, please listen to me. I slapped her hand away. Don't touch me. Don't you dare touch me, the baby whimpered, sensing the chaos. She rocked him desperately. I wanted to tell you, but every time I looked at you, I couldn't. You couldn't, I echoed bitterly. You mean you wouldn't? Her tears dripped onto the baby's blanket. I'm sorry. Sorry? My voice shook. You shattered me, Emily. You took my love, my trust, and you traded them for lies. Sorry doesn't fix that. The door burst open again. Daniel stormed in, his eyes darting between us. Mike, what's going on? I laughed, broken and bitter. Take a good look, Dan. That's the truth I refuse to see. His face hardened as he spotted the child. Jesus Christ! He turned to Emily. You let it get this far? She sobbed louder. I never wanted this, Ethan scoffed. Don't blame her. She chose happiness. Daniel stepped toward him. Shut your mouth before I break it. Ethan smirked but didn't move. Daniel grabbed my shoulder. Mike, don't waste another second here. She made her choice. I stared at Emily one last time. Her eyes begged, her arms rocking the baby who looked nothing like me. Michael, I still love you, she whispered. My voice cracked. You don't get to say that. Not anymore, she sobbed harder. Please, don't leave me like this. I shook my head. You left me first. Every time you picked up his call, every time you smiled at him, every time you chose him over me, you left me. Her knees buckled, and she sank to the floor, clutching the child as if he could shield her from the truth. Daniel pulled me toward the door. Come on, man. You can't save someone who doesn't want saving. I stumbled after him, my legs heavy, my chest on fire. Behind me, Emily's cries echoed through the house. Ethan's silence was louder than her tears. At the door, I turned once more. She was on the floor, rocking the baby, whispering words I couldn't hear. I whispered back to myself, it should have been ours. Daniel dragged me out before I collapsed. The cold night air hit me like a punch. I bent over, gasping, every breath sharp as glass. Breathe, Mike, Daniel said firmly. Don't let them break you completely. But they already had. I straightened, staring at the dark street ahead. The weight of betrayal pressed on my chest, heavier than anything I'd ever carried. I whispered the only truth left. I have nothing now. And then I walked away from the home I once dreamed of building, with nothing but pieces of myself left behind. Are you coming out? Daniel's voice was muffled by the bar's neon. I shrugged and kept my coat buttoned. I can't tonight, I said. I need to be alone. Again? He sounded tired. You can't live in that apartment and rot. It's my place, I said. I paid for it. He pushed the door open anyway. Claire's worried. She keeps asking if you're eating. Tell Claire I'm fine. It felt hollow. Inside, the room smelled like old smoke. I poured a drink and listened to the ice. Do you ever think about calling her? Daniel asked. Every day, I admitted. But I won't. I can't go back. Why not? Because what would I say? Hi, remember me? You left me for a lie. That conversation fixes nothing. Maybe, he said. Maybe nothing, I said. She didn't call. Not once. That doesn't mean she doesn't care. Care? I laughed. She held his child and said, He looks just like you, as if that made it less wrong. Daniel's jaw tightened. I should have told you more bluntly. You did tell me. I didn't want to hear it. Why not? Because I believed her. I built a life around her voice. I paid bills, signed leases, promised a future. Now it's paper. You gave love, Daniel said. That doesn't make you worthless. Feels like a crime. Claire arrived and hugged me without permission. There you are, she said. You're disappearing. I'm fine, I said out of habit. Stop, she whispered. You look hollow. I go to work. I come home. That's it. That's not living. She sat and crossed her legs. Do you remember the sketches you drew? The plans? Buried, I said. Wake him up, she ordered. How? I asked. Start with small steps. Jim, open the laptop. Call that client you liked. Why do you care? I asked. Because Dan's my brother, she said. And because you deserve better. Daniel watched. Use this for something. Revenge by living well. Isn't that petty? Maybe, he shrugged. But it's honest. Make her regret what she lost. We'll help, Claire promised. Their faces steadied me. Okay, I said. First step? Sleep without the bottle, Daniel said. Second? Call the client, Claire said. Third? Don't answer her calls, Daniel said. Let her hear silence. Silence had its own weight. It felt like a sentence turned back at her. Alone later, I rehearsed their orders like a chant. I thought of years poured into a life that vanished. The ache of betrayal throbbed, but under it, a spark stubbornly glowed. I won't let this define me, I whispered to the dark. I pictured waking up early to run, then to sketch, then to send emails. Simple things. Not flashy revenge, just building. You think you can do it? I asked the ceiling. You have to, I said back. When sleep came, it was thin. I slept in clothes and woke with a dry mouth. Still, the list was there. No bottle, call the client, don't answer her. Morning arrived and I threw out the half-empty bottle. One small step, I told the empty kitchen. Later, I opened the laptop and stared. My fingers hovered, then typed a short email to the client. Hit send before fear could freeze me. Claire texted, Good. Proud of you. I stared at the message until it warmed me. That night, alone on the couch, Daniel's words returned. Revenge by living well. It sounded less like vengeance and more like survival. I set an alarm for tomorrow's run. My chest still hurt, but it wasn't pure pain. There was something else, a thin, stubborn hope. Next morning, Claire called. Did you run? She asked. I did 2 kilometers, I lied. Good. Her cheer felt like sunlight. Keep going. Send me a photo of the sketch when you work on it. I will. Daniel stopped by later. You're lighter today, he observed. Maybe, I said. Or maybe I'm carrying the weight differently. That's progress, he smiled. I pinned the sketch paper to the fridge and really finally believed I could try. This was a beginning. Get up, Daniel said, tossing a pair of sneakers at me. You've been sketching and moping. Time to move. I'm not ready, I muttered. My body felt heavy, but he pulled me up anyway. You don't need to be ready. You need to start, he said firmly. At the gym, I stared at the weights. What if I look pathetic? Then you'll look human, Daniel smirked. Everyone starts somewhere. Claire joined us, tying her hair back. Besides, no one's watching you. They're too busy watching themselves. I grabbed the barbell, trembling as I lifted. Feels impossible. Keep breathing, Daniel said. Strength isn't about weight, it's about not quitting. Every rep burned, but with each one I felt a strange release. I wasn't just lifting metal. I was lifting the pieces of myself I'd buried. Afterwards, sweat dripping down my face, I whispered, I didn't think I could do it. You did, Claire said softly. That's the first victory. Weeks passed. The gym became routine. My body began to change, but more than that, my mind did. One morning, Daniel grinned at me. You look different, man. You carry yourself taller, I shrugged, hiding my pride. It's just discipline. No, Claire corrected. It's healing. I started waking early, planning my days. The notebook I once used for sketches filled now with ideas, business strategies I had abandoned while catering to Emily's whims. Why did you stop this before? Daniel asked, pointing at my notes. Because she said it was risky, I admitted. She wanted stability, not dreams. I listened. And now? He asked. Now I want to listen to myself, I said firmly. Claire clapped. Finally, I poured myself into the project. Long nights, endless drafts, meetings with people who once dismissed me. Slowly, they started returning my calls. You're making noise, Daniel said. People can't ignore you anymore. I don't want their approval, I said. I want proof I can stand without her. Then you're already winning, Claire smiled. One evening at a cafe, a former colleague approached me. Michael? Heard about your project. Investors are talking. Didn't expect you to bounce back so fast. I smiled politely, but inside I thought, neither did I. News about Emily reached me in whispers. A mutual acquaintance leaned across a table and said, You didn't hear it from me, but she's struggling. Ethan's in debt. He's not faithful either. I froze, coffee halfway to my lips. What do you mean? He's been seen with someone else. More than once, the man said. Emily's, well, not the same. Looks exhausted. I said nothing, but my chest tightened. Later that night, Daniel asked, You okay? She's facing what she gave me, I said quietly. It feels like karma, but it doesn't feel good. Because you're not cruel, Claire said. You don't enjoy her pain, but you can still recognize justice when you see it. I nodded, torn. I thought I wanted revenge. Now it feels hollow. Then don't focus on her downfall, Daniel said. Focus on your rise. So I did. I polished presentations, signed contracts, even hired a small team. Each success felt like a brick in a wall that protected me from my past. At a launch event, a client shook my hand. You've built something impressive. Keep this up and you'll overshadow everyone. I smiled, but inside I whispered, I already overshadow the man I used to be. Afterward, Claire pulled me aside. Do you realize what you've done? You rebuilt from nothing. I had help, I admitted. You had strength, she corrected. That night, walking home, my phone buzzed. Emily's name flashed again. I stared at it. Daniel saw my hesitation. Don't pick up, he said. I wasn't going to, I replied, slipping the phone back into my pocket. Her voice doesn't control me anymore, Claire smiled proudly. That's the real victory. Still, the rumors about her grew louder. A friend texted me. She regrets leaving you. She says she made a mistake. I stared at the message. My hands didn't shake. My heart didn't race. I simply typed back, it's too late. Then I deleted the conversation. When I told Daniel, he laughed. That's it, no rage? No breakdown? I don't need to waste emotions on her, I said. She already wasted enough of my years. Claire's eyes softened. You've grown, Michael. Not just stronger, but freer. At the gym the next morning, I looked at myself in the mirror. My reflection was leaner, sharper, but it wasn't the muscles I noticed. It was the fire in my eyes. I thought I'd never feel alive again, I whispered. But here I am, Daniel clapped my shoulder. And you're only getting started, I grinned, gripping the barbell. Let's rise higher. Karma moved quietly, dismantling the world Emily chose. But I didn't wait for her downfall anymore. I built my own ascent. For the first time in years, I felt untouchable. Michael, you look like a different man, a client said, shaking my hand at the gala. I've been working, I replied, smiling faintly. The suit fit better now, not just on my body, but on my spirit. Daniel leaned in. You're the one people are watching tonight. Everyone wants to know how you rose so fast. I'm just here for business, I said, though inside I felt the truth. This was more than business. It was proof I had survived. As I scanned the room, laughter, glasses clinking, and bright lights blurred together, until I froze. Emily. She stood near the entrance, clutching a baby against her shoulder. Her eyes widened when she saw me. The color drained from her face. Daniel whispered, Do you want to leave? No, I said sharply. Not this time. She walked toward me slowly, as if her legs barely obeyed. Michael. Her voice trembled. I kept my expression calm. Emily, she adjusted the baby nervously. You look well? I am, I replied. Her lips trembled. Ethan isn't here, I noticed. He left, she said quickly, as if confessing a crime. He couldn't handle responsibility. He cheated. He's gone. That sounds familiar. I said coldly. Tears welled in her eyes. Please don't look at me like that. I came tonight because I heard you'd be here. I needed to see you. You've seen me, I replied flatly. Don't do this, she whispered. I was wrong. Claire appeared at my side, handing me a glass. She looked at Emily and then at me, silent but steady. Emily swallowed hard. Who is she? A friend, I answered. Emily's voice broke. Is she more than that? I didn't answer. She shook her head. Michael, I know I hurt you, but you what? I cut her off. Loved me? Trusted me? Lied to me every day while building a life with another man? She winced. It wasn't like that. It was exactly like that, I said. The baby stirred in her arms. She kissed the child's head as if to shield herself. He left me with nothing. I don't know what to do. That's not my problem anymore, I said quietly. Please, she begged, stepping closer. Talk to me. Just talk, I turned to Daniel. Do I owe her a conversation? Daniel's jaw tightened. Not anymore. Emily looked around desperately. Don't humiliate me like this. I don't have to, I said. You did it to yourself, her voice dropped. I thought Ethan would give me more. I thought you were too safe, too simple. I was wrong, I tilted my head. And now? Now I see you. Strong, successful. Everything I threw away. I regret it. Every day. Claire touched my arm gently, as if reminding me I didn't need to reply. Emily's eyes glistened. Can't you forgive me? For the baby, for the lies, I interrupted. That baby isn't mine, and forgiveness doesn't erase the truth. She bit her lip until it bled. You were the only man who ever truly loved me. Then you should have valued it when you had it, I said. The silence stretched. The crowd's noise faded in my ears until it felt like only the three of us existed. Emily whispered again, Michael. Please, I held her gaze, cold and steady. I didn't yell, didn't curse. My silence was sharper than any words. Finally, she whispered, broken. I made a mistake. I stared at her one last time, then turned and walked away. Her sobs followed me, but I didn't look back. Michael, please answer me. Emily's voice cracked through the phone. I sighed. Why are you calling me again? I need help, she whispered. Ethan is gone. He left with another woman. I don't know how to pay the rent. I don't know how to raise a baby alone. I leaned back in my chair. Do you remember when I begged you for honesty? For love? You gave me lies instead. That was different, she pleaded. I was scared. I thought Ethan was my future. And I was disposable, I said coldly. No, you were safe. You were good. Her words stumbled into silence. Stop, I cut her off. You made your choice, she sobbed. I don't sleep anymore. I can't eat. Everyone whispers about me. My own parents barely speak to me. Please, just one chance. Where was your mercy when I was begging you to tell me the truth? I asked. She whimpered. Michael, I was blind. You weren't blind, I snapped. You saw what you wanted and left me bleeding. The line went silent except for her quiet cries. Later that week, I ran into an old acquaintance at a cafe. He leaned over and whispered, Have you heard? Emily's family cut her off. They say she shamed them. She's living in a small apartment now. I nodded, unmoved. Life has a way of balancing itself. That evening, Emily appeared outside my office. Her hair was unkempt, the baby crying in her arms. I had nowhere else to go, she said. You shouldn't have come here, I replied. I thought maybe you'd remember the love we had. I stared at her. The love I had. You killed it, her face crumpled. Do you hate me that much? I don't waste hate on you, I said. I feel nothing. Nothing? She whispered. Exactly, I answered. Claire stepped outside, spotting the scene. Do you want me to call security? She asked quietly. No, I said. She was just leaving. Emily clutched the baby tighter. I can't do this alone. You'll have to, I said. Her tears fell fast. I never thought you'd turn so cold. You never thought I'd rise without you, I corrected. She gasped softly, as if the truth struck deeper than my anger ever could. Michael, she whispered again. Please, I'm begging you, I shook my head. I begged once. That was enough for a lifetime. Her knees buckled as she cried harder. Passers-by stared, whispering. The shame that once belonged to me now clung to her. Claire touched my arm. "Come inside," she urged. I turned without another word. The last thing I heard was Emily's broken sob echoing against the street. Inside, Claire studied me. "Do you feel guilty?" "No," I said. "Just empty. Daniel joined us later." I saw her outside. "She looks destroyed." "She destroyed herself," I replied. Daniel frowned. "Part of me thinks you should help, for the child's sake." "I'm not his father," I said firmly. "He's Ethan's. Let Ethan answer for his sins." "But Ethan ran," Daniel reminded me. "Then let her live with the choice she made," I said. That night, lying in bed, I whispered to myself, I begged for love. She gave me betrayal. Now she begs, and I give her silence. It wasn't vengeance. It was balance. Days later, I passed by a market and overheard two women talking. "Did you hear about Emily? Alone with a baby, no money. Such a shame." "She used to walk around like she was untouchable," the other replied. "Now look at her." I kept walking, but inside I felt the strange, heavy weight of poetic justice. I didn't raise my hand against her. I didn't plot revenge. Karma did the work for me. Emily was alone. Alone with the life she had chosen, and I was finally free. "Michael, wait!" Emily's voice chased me down the dim hallway. I stopped, unwilling, but she grabbed my arm. "Please just listen. I pulled free. Why?" "Haven't you said enough lies already?" Her eyes were red, swollen. "No lies this time. I'll tell you everything. I can't carry it anymore." "Then speak," I muttered. She clutched the baby tighter. It wasn't just friendship with Ethan, it was an affair from the start. I told myself it was harmless, but it wasn't. I betrayed you, lied to you, over and over. My chest tightened, though I had expected it. "I already knew, but you didn't know why," she pleaded. "It wasn't love. It was lust, greed. He made me feel wanted, like I was living a life I thought I deserved. You were steady, safe, but he was excitement, and I chose him." Her words cut deeper than I imagined. "So I was never enough?" "You were more than enough," she cried, but I was selfish. "I thought the grass was greener. I thought you'd always be waiting." I shook my head. "And now? Now Ethan is gone." "He abandoned me, took everything, left me with nothing but this child." Her voice cracked. "I deserve it. I know I do. But please, Michael, forgive me. I can't live like this anymore." I stared at her, my silence heavier than any words. She stepped closer, holding the baby out toward me. "Look at him. He's innocent. If you can't forgive me, at least don't punish him. Take him for a moment. Feel his weight," I recoiled. "Don't use your child to buy my pity." Tears spilled down her cheeks. "I'm not! I'm begging you. I don't want your money, I don't want your success, I just want forgiveness." I clenched my fists. "Do you even understand what you're asking? You shattered me. I begged for truth, you fed me lies. I begged for loyalty, you chose betrayal, and now you stand here asking me to absolve you like none of it happened?" Her voice broke. "Because you're the only one who ever loved me." Everyone else turned their backs. My family, my friends, society, they look at me with disgust. "You're the only one who might still see me as human." I laughed bitterly. "Human? You treated me like a stepping stone. You looked at me like I was less than him, less than your desires. You made me question my worth, my sanity, my life." "I know," she screamed. "And I would give anything to take it back. If I could trade places with who I was then, I would. I was a fool, please. Just don't leave me in this hell." Her desperation echoed against the walls. Inside me, love, hate, and pity collided in a storm I could barely contain. Part of me remembered her smile, the warmth of the woman I once cherished. Another part remembered the nights I cried alone, begging for answers she never gave. I took a slow breath. "Emily, you destroyed me once. I won't let you destroy me again." Her lips trembled. "So that's it?" "That's it," I said, steady this time. She staggered back, the baby wailing in her arms. "Michael, please. Please don't go." "Not like this. Not forever." But I had nothing left to give. My love had turned to ashes, my anger to silence. Without another glance, I turned and walked away. Her final sob carried after me, but I didn't stop. Not this time. Not ever again. Claire sat across from me at the cafe, her eyes soft. "You look lighter," she said. Lighter? I asked, stirring my coffee. Yes, like the weight you've carried finally slipped off. I gave a small smile. Maybe it has. Or maybe I just stopped fighting it. She leaned forward. So what happened with Emily? I exhaled slowly. She begged. She cried. She confessed everything. She wanted forgiveness, and you? Claire pressed. I walked away, I said simply. She nodded as if she expected that. Good, you deserved peace, not chains. I thought revenge would give me that, I admitted. But it didn't. Watching her fall apart didn't heal me. What healed me was realizing I didn't need her, or her apology, to move forward. Claire tapped the table. That's strength, Michael. Most people cling forever. I used to cling, I whispered. To her smile, to the life I thought we'd build. Now, I let go. There was silence between us, comfortable, not heavy like before. Claire finally spoke. Do you still love her? I thought about it, then shook my head. No, I love who I thought she was, not who she is. That's the truth, she gave me a gentle smile. Then you're free. I leaned back, watching the world move outside the window. Free but scarred. Some wounds never vanish. Scars aren't weakness, she said softly. They're proof you survived, her words lingered. I survived her betrayal, Claire. I survived myself. That's enough. She reached across the table, not to hold my hand, but to anchor me with her presence. And what now? I rebuild, I said firmly. Not for her, not for revenge, but for me. Claire nodded. That sounds like closure. It is. For a moment, we said nothing. I watched people laugh on the street, children tugging their parents' arms, strangers moving without knowing my story. Life went on, with or without my pain. Claire broke the silence. Do you ever wonder what will happen to her? I sighed. I don't need to wonder. Her regrets will echo louder than anything I could ever say. That's her burden now, not mine. And if she comes back again? I shook my head. She already came back. She offered me everything, tears, confessions, even the child in her arms. And still, I chose to walk away. There's no going back from that. Claire studied me. I'm proud of you, I laughed faintly. Proud? For finally letting go of a woman who tore me apart? For finally choosing yourself, she corrected. Her words struck me harder than Emily's pleas ever did. I lowered my voice. She promised it was just friendship, Claire. I believed her. I sacrificed years for her, trusted her, defended her. And in the end, the baby in her arms proved her betrayal. That was all the closure I ever needed. Claire's eyes softened, but she didn't pity me. She respected me. I finished my coffee, stood, and looked at her. I'm not healed completely, but I'm healing. That's enough, she smiled. Then let's walk. Fresh air helps. We stepped outside, the sun brushing my face, warm and forgiving. For the first time in a long time, I didn't feel haunted. I felt alive. Emily's shadow would always exist, but it no longer defined me. My scars remained, but they no longer controlled me. As Claire and I walked down the street, I knew the story wasn't ending with romance or revenge. It was ending with me, finally standing tall, finally letting go, and that was closure.